I'm live. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Let me scoot the comments up here. Running a little bit late. Apologize for that. I've been working extra long and extra hard today into this evening, getting everything done just in case we get a cast reveal, and I'm going to have a chance to take a look at that tomorrow. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, it's the best time of the year. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Welcome to Big Brother 27 Premiere Week, right? Yeah, if Jasmine can have birthday week, we can certainly have Premiere Week. Welcome to all of y'all. Let me start off with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love you guys that hang out here with me every Monday night and watch on replay. And I love Big Brother. Oh, we're almost there. The best time of the year. We're getting ready to find out who the cast is. We've had a little bit of a reveal, right? I don't know a lot about him, but we've had a little bit of a reveal. We'll get a lot more potentially tomorrow. I'm so excited about it. We'll talk about it all in a second. I figure this is going to be all Big Brother all that long. Well, at least for the next hour. So bring your questions. Let me know what you think. We're starting to hear some rumors, see some clues out there, all kinds of stuff. All right, let me see who is out here first. Let me say this before I go further. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, turning on notifications, and hitting the old thumbs up. Now, I know I say that every week, and I mean it every week, but I know I say every week, but I'm telling you this week, if you haven't already subscribed and turned on notifications, you may want to at least consider it, because we are going to get the cast reveal. I'm planning to do a quick little initial assessment video as soon as I get the chance after seeing it, where I'll make predictions on America's favorite, who's going home first, who's going to win, who's going to make jury, all those kind of things. And I'll probably be about 50-50 right and wrong, which I'm perfectly fine with. It's going to be fun just checking out these people. Somewhere in Sequester are 16 people getting ready to go into the house tomorrow, maybe so. So howdy to all of y'all. Howdy if there's any families out there watching as well. Let me check out and see who all is out here. Families, as in families of house guests that are soon to be. But let me see who all is out here as well. Ma is angry. Howdy, Ma. How are you doing, my friend? Today's my dad's birthday. Congratulations, Paul. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. Hey, in honor of your birthday, let me feel. I'll give you the cast reveal, right? I'll give you a happy birthday. Congratulations, my friend. You got an incredible daughter. Let's see, Patricia Miller as well. Howdy, Patricia. Marilyn Sutherland. We'll get through some of these comments in a second. Ed's out here as well. Howdy, Ed. Let's see, Michelle Moore, Desiree Watts, Patricia Miller, Big Jake 88, Lee Strack, Nubby. Hey, Nubby, how are you back? How are you back? How are you, sir? Brian Hostetler as well. Hey, Brian, how are you, my friend? Carol Mosier, Karen Hummer. Let's see who else we've got out here. Tina Harlan Sanson. Howdy, Tina. How are you? Tim Cox, Josh P. Howdy, Josh. Let's see as we go through these. Tommy Brasket as well. Hey, Tommy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Tracy Muckenfuss, Andy W. Chaz, D. Ellis. Let's see. Cash Wash, and Michael Ewing. I was a little late putting my reminder out, so I know all you loyal watching every week, folks, right here, bright and early. I see other folks coming in as well. Welcome to all of you, and again, welcome to those who may be on replay as well as that also. All right, before we talk about Big Brother, I saw mention up here, and I do want to mention it was a long weekend. 4th of July was a celebration. Next year's going to be wild. 250 years of country. But this weekend, little tough. We had the floods over in West Texas. It hit everyone hard. Absolutely hard. It hit me especially hard for a couple of reasons. My mom went to that Camp Mystic. She went, I think, at least one year. I know she told us stories all the time about how she learned to swim at Camp Mystic when she went as a 12-year-old. And swam in the Guadalupe River. And that's when she learned how to swim. So it had a lot of memories for her. We as a family used to vacation at a place about a mile from where Camp Mystic was. It had a cement slide that slid into the Guadalupe River. And so we spend a lot of time over in that place. I read Stephen King's The Stand, a book on a big ranch that was right on the Guadalupe River. So we know the area well, and it It just hit hard. It was rough, incredibly rough. So, thank you for those of you who made comments on here, and for everyone who's been thinking about the poor families. It's just incredible. But we can't spend all our talking about that, and a lot of people supporting a lot of folks in this thing. Carol Mosier saying, "Is everybody ready for a Big Brother?" Newbie is saying, "We're back, baby," and Tracy Muckenfuss is saying, "Yay, almost Big Brother time." Kitchen Gadget Queen is can't wait for Big Brother 27. Yeah, so that may not have been the easiest segue to go from the tragic to just the idea life goes on, right? And we're getting it. We are absolutely getting it. Oh, it's been so fun watching these little reveals. Julie Chen out there doing her typical stuff, or production at least, hitting little clues out there. We saw background or pics of the house. I tried to put all the different pictures I've seen of the house into my background. There are so many you couldn't even see anything. So I just picked out one or two, and we can certainly talk about that. What do y'all think about the house itself? And I can talk about the twist or anything, just the house itself. Gotta say, pretty cool. Very cool, in fact. I've always liked my house, the camp theme and all. Wouldn't trade it for a whole lot of other themes, but this one, pretty dang nifty. I like it. It's a cool cool house. We'll see how creepy or scary or spooky it gets at some point in time. I hope it doesn't turn into like an American Horror Story or something like that. But it certainly seems like they're riding hard on the mystery theme. There's talk about a 17th guest, a mystery guest. Let's talk about what y'all think on that. Would you be happy or sad if you found out the 17th guest was just Janky showing up? I don't think that's going to be the case, but I have made the pitch to get Janky back, so we will see how that happens. We got a little bit of a cast reveal. I'm surprised that CBS just showed us 5 and didn't show the rest of them. And then I start thinking, did they show us these 5 because these are the most photogenic, attractive house guests of the whole group, or are they the most charismatic, or what was the reasoning to pick out these 5 house guests of the 16 that are in there? I don't know. I guess we'll wait until we see the other 11, 12 tomorrow. I don't think we'll find out who this mystery cast member is tomorrow. I think we'll just see the 16, and then we'll find out after that, and that's fine. And we got twist. I did notice. I need to catch my breath here. I did notice that there is a love seat instead of 2 nomination chairs in the living room, which suggests to me that instead of having 2 nominees go on the block, you'll probably have 3, and that's why they don't have 2 chairs. During my season, we only had 2 each week, except one week where we had the field trip, and Christy lost the competition. Her and Sis and Jackson Mickey had to roll the egg down the little ramp and all that. Anyway, Christy lost that competition, and so for that week, she was the 3rd nominee. It was her and Kat and myself, so there were 3 of us. We came in after that competition back into the living room or just a little bit later, and they had moved the 2 chairs and replaced it with a love seat so that all 3 of us could sit there. So after that happened, every season since then, I always watch to see, is it 2 chairs or is it something like this? Well, it's something like this. So at least for a little while, I think we'll have more than 2 people on the nominating block, which probably leads to a similar situation like we had last season with the AI BB Arena Battleback, or whatever they call it, the arena. We'll probably have something like that again this time, which means you'll have a lot more people every week getting nominated, but you'll also have people with one extra opportunity to get themselves pulled off the block, which unfortunately sometimes means that the most alpha athletic kind of people are less likely to get nominated early because of the concern that they'll just pull themselves right off and then you've made an enemy. So based on the little bit we know, I'm feeling a little bit worried for who we're going to decide are the underdogs of this particular season. The ones who don't quite fit into the alpha pack and all of that. We'll see. It's hard when you get that extra level of competition to make as big a move. So we'll see. Awful early to be speculating, but that's what we're here for, right? All right. Rather than just talking continuously for 55 minutes, let me answer a few extra questions as well. Marilyn Sutherland saying, heard they're going to have a rewind back on the feeds. Please, 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 please give me rewind back on the feeds. It's so hard otherwise. I don't know what I'll do. Last year, I had a hard drive set up that recorded straight off the TV. Had my Fire Stick. It was okay, but it was hard to go back and forth. And just give us a rewind. I'll take 24 hours. I don't need to go back 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Just give me 24 hours would be fantastic. All right, Dr. Bose. I saw it pop up. I'm not even going to wait this time. Dr. Bose, thank you so much for the support. He said, howdy, Cliff. Looking forward to a great season. Would love to see your wife join you one night. Yeah, me too. I want to get Sharon on here one of these nights, but every family, you've got your yin and your yang, right? You've got the narcissistic person who's happy to get out there in front of the camera, and then you've got the person that keeps you centered, keeps you anchored into life. That's not such a camera hog, and that's Sharon. So I'm going to keep trying to talk her into it. We'll make it happen one of these days. Probably not now. Probably. Especially as we get into the full Big Brother season. I am going up for the Big Brother premiere party on July 10th. Of course, y'all know it's July 10th, right? Thursday. I'm going up to the premiere party in Dallas that Kat in Brooklyn from last season is hosting. It's going to be great, hanging out with a bunch of fellow Big Brother alums and all the fans up in that area as well. We're going to go up and do that. I tried to get Sharon to go with me. She said, yeah, no, you're going to sit there and you're going to talk for 6 or 7 hours straight. So you just go do your thing, and I'll actually watch the show here, and it'll be a little bit easier. So yeah, I get it. I actually do get it. But it's gonna be fun. I'm so excited for it. All right, let's see what else we've got on here as we start talking about this stuff. Brian is saying cast reveal tomorrow at 1 p.m. at 1 Eastern time. I saw mention of that as well, and I didn't know for certain if it was confirmed or not, but that makes perfect sense. 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, what was it, 10 o'clock Pacific time. So we all get to watch it. Now, I'm curious to see, is it going to be just a quick reveal? We're going to get the 16 names, or is it going to actually be a more detailed conversation? Most years, you get a quick little, sometimes it's an interview. We had Jeff Schroeder do it for a long time. We had Ross do it for a while also. Seems like lately it hasn't been as much of an interview as or at least the interview is with someone who's off camera. So you just see the cast member and they give us a little 1 or 2 minute who they are, how old they are, what they do for a living, how they're going to play the game. Just give us the minimal information. I remember last year watching it. I remember looking at all the house guests. I remember Quinn is the person I said, God, I just don't know if Quinn is going to be just dominate or be the first one out. Quinn was my wild card last year. I didn't know how he was going to do. There were other people. I thought Tucker, I thought Matt, both of them I thought were going to do fantastic. One more so than Matt made a name for himself, considering he was first one out. We all know who he is, right? Like crazy eyes. Didn't have any clue Angela would gain as much fame as she did. So you never know. But yes, cast reveal. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Cast reveal tomorrow. I assume it's on Paramount Plus. I checked last night or night before, made sure my subscription was still valid and paid up, and it is. So I am ready to go. It's gonna, there's just a few things in life that I wait for in terms of TV. As a kid, it was waking up Saturday morning on that first day of fall when they had all the new cartoons for the season, getting up early just so I could watch all those things. I remember that. I'm a big fan of World Cup. I always get excited watching the draw to see which teams are going to be in what groups. A few things like that, but this one's Big Brother. We're going to see which 16 guinea pigs are getting the opportunity. The opportunity to go in front of all of us and become champions for all of us, or a little less than that. I tell y'all every season, I don't judge them based on how they play the game. It's a stressful situation. It's just going to be fun to watch how each and every one of them comes in with a slightly different strategy, how well they play the game, how well they can adapt to the game. That's going to be, I'm so ready for it. All right, let's see. Brian saying as well, talk about the day you went into the house. Did you know it was the day to go into the house? Any clues that it was that day? Oh, yeah. Brian, we knew because we had been told, I can't remember if it was the day before or I think it was a couple of days before, we had done press and we had done our own interviews. And so I know it had to be a couple of days before because our cast release was a few days before we went into the house. I think it seems like it. But anyway, we knew because they told us that we were in sequester already, right? As the house guests are now. We were in sequester, but we were told that, hey guys, this is it. We've done everything possible. You're going to be going in on such and such day. I think for us it was Tuesday, January 13th, if I remember, something like that. Anyway, January 13th, June 13th, something like that. Maybe that's the day I seized. Anyway, the Tuesday after the 13th, I think, whatever day that was when we went in. But they told us, and the reason they did was because one, we had to have our clothes ready and to go that we were going to wear when we went into the house. If I recall, maybe I got to put it in a bag and they sent it off to send it to get it ironed and pressed and all. They didn't trust me to do it with an iron. So we knew we had to send all our clothes off and everything. The other thing is they said it's going to be a very early day. So guys, be ready at 4:30 in the morning or something. It was real early. I said, be early in the morning because we're going to have to pick you up. And it's not just picking you up. We have to pick you up one by one, get you out to a car, take you over to the studio while no one else is watching. It's not like we can take all 16 of you out at the same time. So it's going to take a while. Every 5-10 minutes, they send another one over. So we had to get up early. They brought breakfast for all of us. They brought coffee. They said, make sure that you bring a book, whatever you've been doing to occupy your time. Bring your DVD player if you want, and you can watch one last movie because you're going to get to the studio very early, but it's probably going to be several hours before we're actually ready to bring you in to the house itself. But we need to have you there super early just so we're prepared and all of that. So they woke us up early. We all got to place an order for coffee. They brought me the wrong coffee. Instead of my coffee, black, no cream, no sugar, just straight up black coffee. Instead, they brought one to me that was all kinds of fancy schmancy whipped cream and sugar and lattes and caramel syrup and all kinds of stuff in it. And on the side of the coffee cup, it said Nick. And so I was like, all right, well, I know someone who's going to be in the house is named Nick. It may have said Nicholas. I don't remember, but it was Nick Macarone. And I said, hey, I think y'all gave me the wrong coffee. Oh, okay, sorry about that, Cliff. So they gave me mine and drank my coffee, got taken in a fancy car over to the studio, got put in what they call a green room, just a little room, very small, bigger than a closet, probably not much bigger than a walk-in closet. Had a couch in there, a little bathroom that you could use, and I had a handler who had to stay with me the whole time. I don't remember what movie I was going to watch, but I think it was Good Will Hunting. I don't know why I picked that one. Just give me something inspirational before I went in. Didn't watch it. Ended up talking to this handler the whole time I was in there because I realized that, oh my God, this is probably the last guy that I really get to have some detailed conversations with before I have to deal with the same old knuckleheads for the next 3.5 months. So I took advantage of it. I talked to him, nervous. So I was getting up to go to the bathroom every 30 minutes or so. They finally came to us and said, all right, guys, it's time. Go ahead and put your fancy clothes on, or at least your clothes going to the house, and turn in your DVD player and all the stuff that you aren't taking with you. Did that. They took us out. We were all blindfolded, took us to the studio, or took us to the stage where the thing was on, put us in a hallway. And then they said, all right, there you go, guys. So yeah, Brian, that's a long story, but we most definitely did know because there was a lot of preparation and it was a bright and early day. That was a long day between doing that. Then you get in the house. You're so stressed out. You're so pumped full of adrenaline. You're trying to meet everyone. You remember their names and all of that. Then I get banished. So while they're all getting relaxed and eat dinner, I'm having to fight for my life in the Black Forest and fight my way back in. I was hoping that was done, but oh no, now we've got to do an HOH competition, which lasted till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So it just was a long day. I was so ready to call it a night, but then you get ready to go to bed. And I was thinking, I can't go to sleep. The last thing I want to do is go to sleep and let them all talk together and plot and scheme and not have me as part of it. So it was just almost a solid 24 hours of staying awake trying to play that game. And it was all downhill from there in terms of sleep and stress and everything else. Yeah, welcome to Big Brother. Let's see what else. That's crazy. I remember that like it was yesterday. There's some things that just really impact your life, and that was one of them. That's incredible. All right, let's see. Oh, so many questions out there. All right, Chaz is saying, who are you hoping to see as a mystery guest, house guest? Do you want it to be a second chance house guest or someone from another show? That's pretty interesting. Now, let me say this. I don't know. Maybe someone from another show would be fine. And then Big Jake 88 saying, how about Donnie Thompson or Mr. Spectacular as a mystery guest? I thought about Jesse as being on it because he's kind of, because Julie Chen said something about, this person's going to be very divisive, very polarizing, which immediately thought, I can't be a politician. Surely not. But some people really like Jesse or they really don't. I thought about it being someone like Nicole Franzel because a lot of people like her. A lot of people are ready to say your reign is over. We've seen enough of you on the show. I've thought about Rachel Riley as well. The one that I kind of thought about and talk about from another show, how about Johnny Bananas from The Challenge, right? I mean, he's done shows. That would be kind of interesting to see. How about Russell Hantz? I don't think there's a chance in the world, but that'd be divisive, wouldn't it? But no, I thought someone like Bananas or something like that. I don't really know. Let me see. Tina, we'll talk about that more in a second. Tina Harlan Sanders saying, I think the two past house guests or the two past guests will set up a murder mystery. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking of. Matt offs Angela for ending his showmance, and the mystery guest will be a cop from another show. Well, that could be. What if it was what's the guy? Michael Chiklis that was on like The Shield and everything. He'd come in. He'd be a badass playing this game. I do think there's some merit to what y'all have said there. I could see, and here's the thing: what I don't want. I don't want a house guest to come in who is a famous house guest that everyone's like, oh my gosh, and then they get some kind of advantage because they're a celebrity, they're well known or something, and so they kind of get to coast for the first few episodes because of it. And I'm kind of thinking of Suri from a couple of seasons ago. Nothing against Suri. I love seeing Suri play on Survivor, but I don't want to see someone come in that's playing as just another player that comes in under special circumstances and perhaps gets some extra benefits because of that. I don't want that. I would prefer to have a situation, and I also don't want a situation like they've done in Big Brother Canada before, where you may have more people coming into the house than you've got beds for, and someone gets voted out or booted immediately. I don't want that either. If you bring in the original 16 and then let's see what happens. I could see a situation where, let's see, Karen Hummer, love about the house. All right, well, why only 12 beds, or did I miss something? Good catch. I don't know. As far as the mystery guest, what I kind of hope, and y'all kind of hit on it talking about murder mystery and all that. I kind of hope it's someone that comes in that everyone's like, oh my God, we've got to play with Bananas, or we've got to play with Nicole or Jesse or the Vanessa, whoever it may be. We've got to play with them. And then within the first few minutes, they are found in the rose garden with a lead pipe and holding a bunch of clue cards. I don't know. It would be fun, I think, if you have some special person, Janelle or Rachel or someone, shows up and then almost immediately they become a prop. They're just there to further a plot line. They're hauled out the door. Hell, I got hauled off out of the house by a giant squirrel. So you get some 17th house guest that gets hauled off by the Grim Reaper or something, walking out the door with them. But I could see it being some kind of murder mystery, and then the whole rest of the season evolves into a whodunit or something along those lines. It sets itself up for a lot of twists and surprises and everything. What if every week you've got a different murderer, I don't know, for lack of a better word, who has some kind of devious power? And maybe every week you also have the Inspector Clouseau, the detective. It's some title that you either win or maybe it's gifted to you by the public, or maybe it's a random, I don't know, maybe it's just randomly whoever picks up the red coffee pot first or something, something that someone becomes a detective and suddenly is granted extra power. Maybe they know they have extra power. Maybe they don't even know that they have an extra power, that their vote counts twice or something like that. I don't know, but how cool would it be if every week you knew that in secret someone had some extra little special something that was affecting the way the game is played? And hopefully, unlike a few seasons past, when someone gets extra power, they don't just immediately blab to everyone that they've got the extra power. Keep it secret, and let's see how you can manipulate the game, throw people off their strategy, off what they think is a very well-defined plan, and just put everything in an uproar. I would love to see that. We shall see. Now, as far as 12 beds versus 16, I didn't really count on it. That's a good thing. I heard that the table had 16 place settings, which people always check for. I was trying to figure out how this house is configured. First of all, I'm very surprised they've got bunk beds. I think it's cool. It's a great way to use up extra space or have more space available. But the way these cameras are set up, and with all the walls having the two-way mirrors and all of that, I'm kind of surprised they have one wall with the bunk beds, because it seems like it would create a lot of blind spots in terms of the cameras being able to point in correctly. You think if you're in the upper bunk and you've got the covering over you, you may not have a camera pointing right down in your face that much. You may actually be able to snore and things like that without necessarily having the camera zoomed in on you from start to finish. Same way if you're in the bottom bunk. I don't know, but I will say I do like the house. They showed a gym, and I'm not really sure. It looked too big to be like upstairs in the old have not room or something. So I'm wondering if they switch some stuff around or anything. We'll see. All right, let's see. Carol Mosier saying, love the love the house theme. Yeah, I do too. It's going to be twist. Hopefully is good, but from the house standpoint, they've done well. It reminds me of Big Brother Canada. Some of the houses they did up there were fantastic. This one is up on that level. Morgan is saying, house is amazing, best in a long while. I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Bill A is saying, love the house. Third favorite, all-time favorite was Can't Be. I kind of feel the same way. Field Janky will show up as well. I could see that. I like houses that make you feel that are darker colors, muted colors. I don't like the bright, all metallic and neon and all that. I want wood, and this looks like a calming house until you hear the screams or the flashes of lightning and all that. Marilyn Southern is saying, love the house. Saw the hidden door. Yeah, for those of you who don't realize, there are a couple of hidden doors, right? Maybe. I know there's one. Took me a while to figure out that Julie was showing off. There's one that looks like it's up between the bathroom and the main part of the HOH room. So you can actually open it. It'll serve as a door. You can close it if you're showering, using the bathroom, whatever. So you get a little isolation from the rest of the HOH room. During our season, we did not have a door there. We had a bunch of beads hanging down. I got a dang hippie camp or something, but it's a bunch of beads hanging down, which looked cool. But in terms of privacy, yeah, not so much. It was you learn to give up a lot of privacy. The bathroom door, the bathroom door up in the HOH room did not have a door. It was just a couple of swinging like saloon doors. So between that and just having beads hanging down from the main room, if you're using a restroom up in the HOH room during lockdown or while everyone's having big kumbaya sessions and stuff up there, you just don't have nearly as much privacy as you would think you would need while you're taking care of business up there. So yeah, it was, yeah, I remember that. I remember it well. Yeah. I'm still amazed I survived having to share a bathroom with 15 other people. I did it in college, but that was a long time ago. And we didn't have any clean freaks or anything there. Thank God we had Kat in the house our season. She brought poopery for the bathrooms, and she was a bit of a clean freak and took care of the rest of us who otherwise would have just done horribly. All right, Nick's out there. Hey, Nick, how are you? I just talking about I stole your coffee on our first day going into the house. SKD 143, SKD indeed, my friend. Nick's a family man. He knows what it's all about. Yeah, it's Nick, what this start of the season, it brings back a lot of memories of you and me and those first few days in the house and trying to get your feet underneath you and just not knowing what's going on. Of course, Nick knew what was going on. Nick was finding himself all kinds of friends bright and early. He was part of the big alliance. He picked up a girlfriend. Nick was living well to start. Me, not so much. Sam, I think Smith is the one that called us bottom feeders, and he thinks it's derogatory. I actually like the term. Yeah, I was a bottom feeder. I was scraping the bottom. I was fighting for survival the whole time. I was the catfish of the Big Brother house. I was just there fighting my way to make it one more day. Throw me the cast off. I'll take care of it as long as it means I get to stick around a little bit longer. But yeah, I know Nick's excited as well. And not everyone from our season or other Big Brother seasons necessarily stays involved and passionate about Big Brother. For some people, it's just too much stress, or it's one of those been there, done it kind of situations where after a while, it's like seeing behind the curtain or something, I suppose. And not for me. I get so excited. It's like when you have kids and you see them going off to school for the first time or opening Christmas presents. You get so excited for them. And I do the same thing with the house guests that are in there every week. Yes, I want to see good gameplay. I want to see strategy. I want to see the twist and all that. I want to see 16 house guests that are in there having fun and coping and dealing damage, dealing damage control, whatever it may be. I'm there to live vicariously through the new set of house guests that we get each and every season. That's what I'm there for. And I know Nick watches it and analyzes it as well. Nick's a psychologist. I think Nick probably has insights that sometimes I may not have. Nick's saying, remember they gave you yeah, they gave me the wrong name tag. They gave me instead of Cliff, I think it said William, because my legal name's William. And I said, hey guys, not the end of the world. I mean, whatever, but that's not actually, or was it WH instead of CH for our name tags? I don't remember how they did it, but they said, we'll get taken care of, Cliff. And like 5 minutes later, they're back and we fixed it, Cliff. Y'all are fast. We are getting the attention that we deserve, right? Yeah, no, we had a lot of people focused on us those first those first couple hours. A lot of people, we had blindfolds on, so I don't even know how many dozens of people may have been surrounding us. It's probably a little bit like the Hunger Games. It wasn't that they were surrounding us to give us support. They were surrounding us to make sure that we didn't panic and flee. If we tried to do so, it probably would have been like a bad game of Red Rover. They would have all had their arms connected together, and they just would have slowly driven us into the stage and in front of Julie, kind of like the Hunger Games, and said, there's only one entrance in, and it's that way, guys. And we'll see you soon. Yeah, I never thought about not doing it. I was in for the long haul, but I did have a lot of butterflies. Because you don't know. And then suddenly you see Julie up on stage and she's looking at you, and everyone sitting in the audience is looking at you. And I'm not a guy who's used to having a lot of people looking at me. I just kind of blend into the woodwork and cheer on my kids and all of that. And suddenly they're all looking at the cowboy guy in the cowboy hat. And all I could think was, don't be the first one in the door. Don't be the first one in the door, because if you do, they'll be talking about you. What an incredible night. All right, Tommy Braskett saying, can't believe my glass eye. Can't believe we have to wait until Sunday for the live feeds. Yeah, that is unfortunate, and it's very similar to when we were in the house. And Nick can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we went in on a house on a Tuesday, and we maybe didn't start live feeds for, it feels like a week or so. Like the following Sunday or Monday, something like that, we were in the house. We had already had the HOH competition. Christy was HOH for the first 2 weeks, if I recall, because we didn't have an eviction until week number 2. And so I think we basically had a week of just us learning not to do well, we didn't learn very well. I was going to say not to do stupid things on the live feeds. We obviously didn't learn that, but we had a week to practice, and live feeds came on. Then we had another week before the eviction itself. So it was long and drawn out. And I think of how much stuff happened before our live feeds came on. The whole 6 shooters, Grateful Eight, Undeniable, whatever they want to call them. So they had formed early before the feeds came on. I knew like night number 2 that I was in trouble, because suddenly I saw Jackson Mickey and Christy and a few others that were calling themselves these little goofy names, pet names for each other. And I thought, all right, they've bonded and I am in a world of hurt. But yeah, it's tough that we don't get to see from the house move in until the live feeds on Sunday. Are they moving in tomorrow? I feel like someone had said that perhaps. If so, we're looking at, what's that, 5 days? Bill A is saying house guests move in tomorrow. Thank you. All right. I thought that was perhaps the case. Clinton Merchant. Clinton, how are you doing, sir? The Big Brother cast reveal is like Christmas morning. Yeah, absolutely it is. You don't know what you're going to get. You know what you think you want. And maybe you get a little bit of it, but you also get some surprises as well. We're going to get a few people I'm immediately look at and say, oh, yeah, there's the alpha dude. We'll see how he behaves. Oh, there's the quirky girl. There's the counterculture person. Whatever. And unfortunately, we all stereotype, and it's almost like we're expected to with the little bit of information gives. But we're gonna be making assumptions about people, but we're gonna see some people and go, I don't know. I don't know how to read that person. I don't know how that's gonna quite work out. And then you get to watch it and figure it out. And I'd like to think, I know I've said this before, I'd like to think I was in that situation where a lot of people probably made a lot of assumptions about who I was based on Texas, working on the oil field, wearing a cowboy hat, everything that they saw in me. Probably made a lot of assumptions about what kind of person I was. And I'd like to think I proved them wrong in at least a few things. We'll see. I was loud and boisterous, and I didn't prove them wrong on that. I'm sure that came across pretty quick, but yeah, absolutely. It's like Christmas morning, waiting to see the stuff that you expect to get, and somehow Santa always manages to throw in a couple of extra surprises that catch you a little bit off guard. And I'm not talking about the oranges at the bottom of the stocking either. All right. Did y'all get oranges? We had stockings for Christmas, and we got candy and stuff in the stockings. I remember getting a few apples and oranges and all that. It's like, yeah, Santa, I could have done with a few more gobstoppers and candy bars, but I get it. Healthy eating and all that. All right. Charlene Pickett is saying, favorite time of the year. Yeah, isn't it amazing that we are so invested in a TV show that is there just for our entertainment? Tina is saying, love the bunk room. Curious if the curtains close. It'd be like a sleeper car, wouldn't it? And if so, will people talk game and forget to check behind them? That's certainly a possibility. You could have someone up in one of those bunks that could be hiding out and maybe hear some things that they shouldn't be hiding. You better be checking, guys. Of course, it's too late. Isn't that funny? We all know what this house looks like. These house guests do not. They don't have a clue what the house is. Sharon and I were watching season 1 of Big Brother just because it's been so long since we saw the first one with Chicken George, and just God, it's so long ago watching them. But it's funny because was it Karen, I think, or Christina? I can't remember who it was. Had seen the house reveal before she went into the house. And oh yeah, I already saw it. They showed it online or something. That was in the early days when there wasn't all the hype that there is now. Nowadays, I didn't know what our house looked like, except when I got led into the diary room for my little press schedule with Jeff Schroeder, my interview. They screwed up. They took the blindfold off early. I did see a big wooden like log or piece of fixture. And so I immediately thought, oh, that kind of looks like a forest or outdoors or something like that. So I actually, just on that little bit of information, had a little bit of a feel. But for the most part, they're going to come in. They're going to see this house for the very first time. Even though it won't be live when we watch on Thursday night, we're going to get to watch how they responded when they first saw that house, which is going to be incredible. But yeah, going way back to what y'all said earlier, I do hate that the feeds don't come on until Sunday. It works to my advantage a little bit in that I'm going to be at the premiere party and then driving back Thursday night. So I was already thinking, God, how am I going to do the live feed recaps and travel and all that? Well, now I don't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, I'd rather have the live feeds earlier and have to figure out how to do it. But it is what it is. We'll watch it Thursday and Sunday, and then we'll get up to speed. Live feeds are going to come on, and who knows what will have changed by then. So there'll be a lot to talk about in the live feed recaps come Monday morning. So hint, hint, turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel, because if I didn't say so already, I will be covering each and every night so that you don't have to stay up all night. I'll do it. I'll give you a little 15, 20, 25-minute recap of all the important stuff that happened and probably a whole lot of unimportant stuff, but I'll tell it to you all. That's going to be so much fun. All right. David Robinson is saying they need more older people. I've always thought that. I thought CBS has really focused on and done a good job in terms of ethnicity, of getting people in the house. They have focused on that, but I think you need more diversity also from I was going to say geology, not so much. Yeah, I'm from the Jurassic era. No, not geology, geographic locations. I want to see spread out. I want to see someone from Seattle and San Diego and Miami and Houston and Wyoming and New York. Spread them out as much as you can. Get us a little bit from all over. Maybe it makes it a little harder for them to know each other if you do that, for one thing. But yeah, I want to see a lot of geographic diversity. I want to see a diversity of ages. Man, if there's 16 people in there, you ought to have 3 or 4 people that are ages 50 or above, 3 or 4 people that are in their 20s, 3 or 4 that are in their 30s, 3 or 4 that are in their 40s. And then let's see how the game is played. When you've got people with truly a lot of different life experiences and stations in life, and all of that. And now I'm sure if I talk to production, they could probably give me 101 different reasons on why that's not as easy to do as I offer it up. But yeah, I'd like to see. It was hard being the only 50-something-year-old in the house, knowing that everyone else was 30 years younger than me, or 25 years younger than me. It would have been kind of cool to have an extra person or two that could relate to me on a lot of things. But, I just had to. I never looked in the mirror. Not really. I just went in saying, you're just another 25-year-old, Cliff. Act like a 25-year-old. Play the game like a 20. Do not act like the dad figure. I kind of did, but I tried not to. I tried to just fit in with everyone else. All right, let's see. I'm so excited. Josh P. Did they test you to wear or tell you to wear the same clothes as the one you wore for media for move-in day? I don't remember. I do not know, Josh. I know they had to give us approval for what we wore when we went into the house. And I know that they also had to give us approval for what we wore on press day. I would have, the way to figure out, I need to go back and watch my season and see what I wore when I went into the house, episode 1, versus what's on the memory wall, because the same day they did the press day where we did our interviews with all the news media and all that, that's also the same day they took the pictures of us for the memory board, for the memory wall. So if I recall my picture on the memory wall, I was wearing a bluish shirt, and I may have worn that when I went into the house. So you may be right. It may be the same outfit both days. I just don't remember though. Now I need to check and see. It was tough because here's a little secret that I don't know if I've said before. We got into the house, and then for the next 2 or 3 days, live feeds weren't on. Next 2 or 3 days, the diary room is calling us in to talk about our first day in the house. Hey, why did you think about the other house guest, Cliff? What do you think about this banishment and all these kind of things? They wanted it to seem like it was interviews that were happening as soon as we got into the house. So we were told to wear the same clothes and dress exactly the same as the very first second we got into the house. Even though it may have been 24 hours later, we had to dress up. We had to wear the same items so that it fit in with the show, that we were wearing what they were showing us on stage and we're talking as we go in and all that, which for me, no big deal. Sure, throw on a blue shirt. Some of the ladies who got really fancy dressed to come into the house, the fancy outfits, the fancy hair, the necklaces, makeup on, I remember them being a little perturbed that they kept getting called in. And so they would have to go put on their finest outfits and get all ready to look just like they did when they came into the house. They go in, they talk for a couple hours, do different diary room sessions, come out, get all dressed back into your lounge around wear and all that. And then they get called back in. Oh, sorry about that. We forgot to ask you one more question. And so I remember them thinking that it was a lot tougher for the women because they took a lot more time to get ready in their fancy dresses and all that. Me is like, I never throw on shirt. And then Nick, who never wore a shirt when we went in the diary room, as I found out later, he said, perhaps kidding, perhaps not, that he never wore a shirt, so that way he didn't have to ever go put on old shirts to make up for past interviews. He was just always not wearing a shirt when he went into the diary room, so he never had to put anything extra on. Yeah, it's actually pretty smart. All right, let's see. Ed's saying if they take all your stuff ahead of time, what's in the bag you bring into the home aside from your book? I brought in what they tell you is, look, you're going to get your suitcase that's got everything except what we pull out because it's not appropriate. That has a logo on it, things like that. But we'll get that to you later. But what they told us is bring in enough clothing to carry you through for the first 2 or 3 days that you're in the house. So bring a few changes of clothes, bring things to sleep in. For me, I bring in your bathroom stuff. For me, I brought in contact lens solution, some eyeglass holder for when I was doing competitions. So basically bring in the things that you're going to need for the next 2 or 3 days, because it may take that long before your suitcase shows up. So that's what's in. There truly is real stuff in those bags when you walk into the house. But it was just a very small part of what we had in the house itself. So the suitcases showed up a little bit later. So there you go. Now we were supposed to get the suitcases, unpack everything. Once it was all unpacked, go put the suitcase back in the storage room, and they would then take it. And then if you were nominated, come like Wednesday night or Wednesday during the day before evictions, the 2 people on the block, their suitcases would show up in the storage room, which was always incredibly depressing. My suitcase showed up 6 times during my season, and each time I had to pack again. Horrible. But you would pack your suitcase back up. If you weren't evicted, you'd go unpack it again. You'd turn your suitcase back in. I did more packing and unpacking during one season of Big Brother than I did for the entire career I had traveling all around the world. I know I carried a lot more stuff in that suitcase than I ever carried to anywhere else. I went anywhere in this world. I always packed light when I traveled international. I packed heavy when I went into that Big Brother house. Too heavy. I didn't use half the stuff I brought in. But you never know. It's not like you can go to Walmart in the middle of the night to pick up something extra if you're missing it. All right, let's see. 7:51 goes so fast. P. Bronson is saying, is there a food you can't order? You're talking about while you're in sequester or while you're in the house? While you're in sequester, it was pretty much just what was available at the sequester spot, a hotel. So what was available from room service and all of that. While you're in the house, you don't really order food. You can make requests. I would go and say, hey, can I get some extra milk? Usually they would give me an extra jug of milk. But I went in and said, hey, can I get some extra eggs? I'd love to have a fried egg for breakfast. Yeah, sorry, Cliff, shouldn't have burned through so many eggs at the start of the week. It wasn't me who ate 12 dozen eggs in one sitting. It was one of these alpha guys over here. It doesn't matter, Cliff. You ought to talk to them then. So you can't really order food. Every once in a while, like if it's someone's birthday, they'll give cake mix and stuff for the birthday. If you win HOH, you can make requests as part of your basket. Other than that, if you're friendly with production, maybe sometimes they'll give you a little something. Most of the time, not. You just take what they give you, and you're dang grateful for it as well. See, we've got Colton 04. It's my 21st birthday. Happy birthday, Colton. Congratulations. I can finally apply for Big Brother. All right, Big Brother 28. I'm going to be watching for you between now and then. Reach out to me. I'll give you some casting tips. I'm certainly always happy to appraise videos and all of that stuff. Congratulations, my friend. 21 opens up all kinds of doors for you. Be safe while you go out and celebrate tonight. Sometimes 21, as you get more opportunities to make choices, sometimes it's more important to make the right choices. Coming from a dad. Have fun on your birthday, Colton. And yeah, I'll see you next season on Big Brother 28. Clint Merchant is saying, watch out for squirrels. Yeah, Squirrel and I didn't get along so well. Squirrel hauls me out of the door on day number 1. But the day I won the Battle Back episode, I pulled my hat off, my cowboy hat. I threw that thing like a freaking Frisbee, hit the squirrel right upside his head, knocked him off the rock that they had him positioned on. And so, yeah, I got my revenge over old Bucky, the beaver squirrel, or whatever his name may be. Yeah, watch out for those squirrels. Watch out for the birds flying overhead in the backyard, too. David Robinson is saying, did you get upset when you got heard talking to the camera? Yeah, well, I didn't know I got heard by the camera until, I don't know, a few days later. It could have been a week later. I think Kimmy heard it from Christy. Kimmy told Nicole. I don't remember how it worked out, but word got back to me that, hey, Cliff, they overheard you talking. Yeah, I was upset. Not mad. I wasn't upset at Christy. She's just playing the game. I was upset at myself. I was like, oh, yeah, knucklehead. You just ruined your whole game. You did so much to get in here. And just because you felt like you could talk so loud that you over talked and got heard, and now your whole game is cratered. Yeah, I was upset. I was upset at me. It worked out in a way to my advantage because fortunately Christy didn't hear that much. Fortunately, Christy had a big enough mouth, and it's not. Christy wanted to be a contributor so much to the big alliance that she was very quick to tell everyone that she'd overheard me talking. She could have kept it a secret and leveraged my support or leveraged my vote. No, she could have held it against me and probably gotten a lot more traction out of it, but she didn't. She told everyone. And because she told everyone, Jackson Mickey came back the next morning and listened in as well. I don't think they showed that on the episode, but he came in and listened as well. And fortunately, when he listened in, it was me saying, of everyone over there, the only ones I really think I can trust is maybe Jackson and maybe Holly. Those are the ones I want to work with. Those are the ones I'm going to trust going forward and I'm going to watch out for. Well, he heard that, and it helped me get a lot further, kind of getting on board with him and developing a little bit of an alliance. So it worked out. But yeah, a little perturbed. It's like, you idiot. Yeah, Sharon warned me. She said, you don't have an in-door whisper voice. Be careful. Yeah, okay, sure. And then sure enough, she's proved right like after the third day or something. That's incredible. Let's see. Tommy Braskett. If you think about it, the HOH is actually murder because they get rid of someone. Well, that's true. Not quite Hunger Games level, but you're right. Yeah, someone is pulling a trigger on someone, right? Now, theoretically, you could argue that the HOH is the one person not committing the murder. All they're doing is putting two people up in the gallows, and they're letting all the other house guests make the decision on which one doesn't walk home down the steps that particular day, right? Yeah, the HOH is the one person that normally does not cast a vote and doesn't get the blame, but they still do, right? You get blood on your hands if you're the one that makes the nominations. It was hard when I was HOH. I kind of got blood on my hands when I put up Jackson and Jack, two of the big old targets in that house, hoping that one of them could go home till I found out Christy had her power. And then it was a matter of me doing damage control. And fortunately, I think I was able to swing it where there were still bigger targets in the house after I finished my HOH than myself. And it worked out. But yeah, and there's lots of murders taking place in the house. It may be not quite literal, but certainly, yeah, there's certainly people that would treat it as such. We had a few people that you would think they were actually in the firing line based on how they responded when they were put on the block when they found out they were going home. For me, it was always the game. Yeah, don't send me home. I want to play the game. But if you do, I'm not gonna stand up and walk across the coffee table, get out of there. I'm not gonna turn around like a few people I have and had choice words to the other house. Whatever. You play the best you can and then you move on. But yeah, it's its own kind of murder. And what's worse is we're all watching at home cheering on the murders, right? The people in the Big Brother house are like the gladiators, and we're all the crowds at the Coliseum cheering on every bloody betrayal and stab in the back. And there's just something genetically that's in mankind, which works for our best sometimes, but also works for our worst. Take it for what it's worth. I don't want to get too philosophical here because it's not time for that. It's time for Big Brother. All right, 7:57. Well, we got to shut this down quick. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed talking about. Dr. Bose is saying, are you coming on tomorrow night to talk about the housing, the house guest? Yeah, Dr. Bose, I'm not sure exactly when I'll do it because I do still work for a living and all that. But once the cast is released and I get a few minutes, I'm going to try to do a very quick recap. It give me a chance to make sure I'm set up for my videos and all that for the rest of the deal. So I will be coming out here. It will not be, I can almost guarantee it will not be live. It won't be a show like this. Instead, what I'm going to probably do, although it could be live, I'll think about it, but I wasn't planning on that. I'll probably just record the show. I will post it and then get your comments. But now that you mention it, we'll see. It could be fun to just talk about it as well. I'm telling you, subscribe and turn on your notifications if you haven't done so already, because I don't know exactly when I'll be coming on live, when I'll be posting recorded videos. There could be a little bit of all of that this particular season. So you've been warned. Yeah, good thought. Good suggestion, Dr. Bose. We shall see. All right, let's see. What else? I guess that's it. We're going to shut it down right now. We've got the premiere party again. I'm going to the premiere party up in Dallas, a place called the Colony Grandscape Theater on July 10th. I think it may be sold out, but I'm sure if you wanted to go, you could probably figure out a way to get in. I'll be up there for that one. I know there's a huge one going on in New York that Ozza is doing at the House of Chops. There's one in Maryland. If you're near a big city, there's probably one going on. And if you're not near a big city, I'm pretty much guarantee you there's other people in the neighborhood or around the corner that they're probably watching as well. So we're pulling the family together for season number 27. Is that not incredible? All right, guys. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll talk about the house guest tomorrow in some form or manner, live, recorded. We shall see. But we'll do that tomorrow. We've got the premiere. I'll probably post from that as well, either an Instagram live or I may record something afterwards. We'll see on that. And then starting Sunday night, I'll be doing a live feed recaps, and then I'll be back Monday evening, same time, same BB channel, Monday night to do the Cliff Notes live, and we'll recap what we've seen so far, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about. It's gonna be fun. With that, guys, thank you. And yes, the most favorite time of the year. We're all excited. We share excitement with each other. Y'all have a good night. Get your sleep. You got one more week to sleep strong and hard before feeds are on all night long, and then things change. I do think it's going to be on Pluto TV in addition to Paramount Plus. So even if you don't have Paramount Plus, I think you're going to get some live feeds on Pluto as well. So we all may be watching a lot of Big Brother this season. Guys, have a fantastic week. Keep a little extra spot in your heart for prayers and consideration for the families that are suffering in West Texas. Get your sleep and be ready. It's going to be, I know it's going to be a great season. I'm all on board with it. Get ready for the mystery house. Get ready for the mystery guests. Until Thursday, or until tomorrow. SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all you guys. And I love Big Brother. Guys, y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. I could talk for another hour, but then I'd lose my voice. I couldn't talk tomorrow. Guys, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Bye, my friends.